Did you know that Delaware is home to over 1 million business entities? It's true. If you're looking to establish your LLC, which is that amazing structure that protects your personal assets from business liabilities in one of the most business-friendly states in the entire country, you are in the exact right place. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to break down the highly specific, actionable process of forming your company. Let's dive into the exact steps you need to start your Delaware LLC today. Just look at that number, over 1 million entities. That massive figure isn't just an accident. It actually proves that Delaware is incredibly trusted by business owners worldwide. And you might be wondering, why? Well, because registering there comes with major real-world benefits. We are talking about tangible tax advantages, incredibly robust legal protections, and a whole corporate framework that's literally designed to help businesses thrive. So here is our playbook for today. 1. Why choose a Delaware LLC? 2. Naming and your registered agent. 3. Filing your certificate of formation. 4. Your operating agreement and EIN. And 5. Taxes and ongoing compliance. All right, let's jump right into Section 1. Why choose a Delaware LLC? There are 3 major benefits you absolutely need to understand here. First off, Delaware has a dedicated court of chancery. This just means if you ever have a business dispute, it's heard by expert corporate judges, not a random jury. This gives you incredibly fast and predictable legal outcomes. Second, pass-through taxation. Delaware actually doesn't impose a state-level corporate income tax on your LLC if you don't operate inside the state. The profits just pass right through to your personal tax return. And third, unmatched ownership privacy. Delaware actually allows owners to remain completely anonymous on public formation filings, which is huge. Moving along to Section 2, naming and registered agent. First things first, you need a name, and it's vital to select a distinctive name that isn't already taken by one of those million other entities we talked about. So, step 1, hop onto the Delaware Division of Corporations online database and search for your desired name. A great pro tip from our sources here is to search without the LLC suffix just to catch any potentially conflicting names. Step 2, make sure it is completely unique and distinguishable. And step 3, listen, if you find the perfect name but you aren't quite ready to file your paperwork today, you can actually reserve that name for a full 120 days by paying a simple $75 fee. Okay, so once you have a name, you need a registered agent. A registered agent is a designated person or company with a physical Delaware street address. They have to be available during normal business hours to receive what's called service of process, so lawsuits or subpoenas, as well as official state tax notices. Now, this can be yourself if you actually live in Delaware, your attorney, or a professional registered agent service. But you absolutely cannot use a P.O. box or virtual mailbox for this. Having a reliable registered agent brings immense value to the table because they're essentially the front line of keeping your company legally compliant, ensuring you never miss a critical state deadline. Okay, Section 3, filing certificate of formation. Like we mentioned, Delaware takes your privacy very seriously. To actually form your LLC, only the company's legal name, your registered agent's info, and the date go on the public record. That's it. The names of your owners, your managers, and your internal financial structures, all of that remains completely private. This really brilliantly illustrates just how well Delaware protects your identity on public documents. Now, to officially file that certificate of formation, it costs a flat $90 state filing fee. You can submit this document online through the state's document filing service, or you can do it by mail. But please keep this in mind because it's a very common mistake. Do not assume your LLC exists the exact moment you put the paperwork in the mail or hit submit. Your business does not legally exist until this certificate is officially processed and filed by the Delaware Division of Corporations. Which brings us to Section 4, Operating Agreement and EIN. Delaware law gives you incredible freedom in how you run your business. And you really need to remember this. The operating agreement is strictly an internal document. It is literally never filed with the state. But while Delaware doesn't legally require you to file an operating agreement, creating this written document is absolutely vital. It's the playbook that dictates how profits are split, how the company is managed, and honestly, most importantly, it separates your personal affairs from the business, which is exactly what protects your limited liability in court. Next up is your relationship with the federal government. You're going to need an EIN, or Employer Identification Number. Step 1 is to apply for this 9-digit number for free directly on the IRS website. You can basically think of it like a social security number for your business. Step 2. Take that new EIN to the bank to open your official business bank account. When you're choosing a bank, look for low-fee business accounts and be absolutely sure to bring your approved certificate of formation and your EIN with you. And finally, step 3. Ensure you keep your personal and business finances strictly separated. I can't emphasize this enough. Commingling your funds is the absolute fastest way to lose your LLC's legal protections. Finally, Section 5. Taxes and ongoing compliance. A lot of folks get pretty confused by Delaware taxes, so let's clarify the two main obligations right now. First is the annual LLC tax. This is a flat, fixed annual fee. It's usually right around $300 to $400, depending on that exact year's statutes, and it's due by June 1st every single year. You have to pay this regardless of how much money you make, even if your business makes $0. Second is the gross receipts tax. Now, this one only applies if your business has physical operations, employees, or inventory inside the actual state of Delaware. So if you operate entirely out of state, the gross receipts tax generally won't apply to you at all, leaving you with just that flat annual tax. But beyond that flat tax, you also need to make sure you're properly licensed to operate. You'll need to register via the Delaware One-Stop portal. Doing this is an absolute necessity to obtain your core Delaware business license. And depending on exactly what your business does and where you're located, you also need to check if you have to secure specific local zoning permits or industry-specific licenses. Remember, compliance is an ongoing process. It's definitely not just a one-time event. Before we wrap this all up, I do need to share a quick note with you. This explainer provides general information only and should not be considered legal advice. Consult with a legal professional for specifics on your unique situation. Business structures are complex, and it always pays to have professional guidance tailored directly to you. So, with all that said, are you ready to start your Delaware LLC today? We've covered the why, the naming process, the filing, the agreements, and the compliance. If you found this helpful, please like this explainer and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives. And definitely drop any questions you have in the comments below. You now have the playbook to join over 1 million successful businesses in Delaware. So what's the very first step you're going to take today to make your dream a reality? Thanks so much for learning with me, and I'll catch you in the next one.